What's up, guys? It's Chris Mitchell Jazz. I'm here with Carissa Stephens, co-owner of Pur Noire. Now, as you know, I'm not an interviewer. I'm a saxophone player. But funny story, I came into your winery.
Yes.
I was visiting my friend, and I came over and saw the sign of you and Mr. Stephens.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe she's like an ambassador of this place. I had no idea. I didn't know. So I went and sat down at the table, and I asked one of the ladies, I said, hey, that's my friend over there.
Yeah.
She goes, how do you know her? I said, I went to school with her, frat brothers with her husband. And so then I reached out to you and said, you know what? I've been here, tasted your wines. Phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you.
Very phenomenal. But I didn't know the history of like how this all started. So tell me, how did this get started?
Oh my gosh.
Because I can take you back to Naturally Gigi, but that's a different thing. So that's, how did this all get started?
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So it really started with my love for wine. In 2016, Kenneth, my husband, and I had the opportunity to travel a bit, and one of those trips was to Italy. We actually visited Rome, Florence, Venice, Milan.
Okay.
It stayed in a small town that very few people have heard of called Todi. I promise it's a real place.
Really?
Todi.
Todi.
Yes, and of course you go to Italy, you expect to taste great wines, right? Like we went looking for wine. But what was unexpected for us was how communal wine would feel. Like we deepened our appreciation, understanding that wine is so much more than a drink in a glass, right? It's art, it's history, it's culture.
Right.
It's also a universal language. So we got back home to Houston, Texas.
Back home?
Yes, and we were just excited to explore wine. So we were developing our palates, tasting as much wine as we could, you know, learning by tasting. And we completely geeked out on wine. And that's when, you know, 2 years, we looked up 2 years had passed since Italy. And we're clearly in the world of wine. We were spending our hard-earned coins on wine. At the time, I was still working in corporate.
Right.
And I was just curious about who the key players were in the industry, right? So I did my research, I did a little digging. That's when I discovered the shocking statistic that less than 1% of global producers of wine are African American. 0.07% to be exact.
Yeah, I'm more than that 1% that's drinking it all. So
And we love to drink it. And we have a palate for it. So long story short, you know, that moment was a call to action. And when I thought about what really drove me, I've always been entrepreneurial, as you know. What really drove me and my passions, wine was at the center of my best memories and experiences. And the epiphany was that I really had something to say in this industry of wine. I was already self-studied. I'm currently a global certified sommelier. And the epiphany that we had literally manifested itself into our first wine product called Pure Epiphany.
yeah, which is my favorite, by the way. Because I was gonna ask you, like, when you on a night of like chill, romantic, you and Mr. Stephens, just having a night off from the life or the business and the busyness, like, what will you be sipping on?
Oh, that's a good question. It really varies. So, Chris, we now produce 13 different premium and award-winning wines. And so,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and they're all very different. All the grapes are sourced from different parts of California, primarily the Napa Valley, Clarksburg, and Lodi. And really, my mood decides my vibe, right?
Okay.
So, you know.
Well, when you listening to Chris Mitchell Jazz, what you drinking?
Oh, if I'm listening to Chris Mitchell Jazz, it has to be one of our bold reds, probably Pure Epiphany.
Which is my favorite.
Or, our Old Vine Zinfandel, something sexy and evolved with very fruit forward, but complex and structured and nice long finish. We love a good red blend. We love a good red wine.
Speaking of sexy, I have a playlist for that. Okay,
Oh.
so when y'all, chilling again, and go to TikTok and you go to the Sax Factory, it's a playlist of all the sexy music.
I'm gonna have it on.
And you'll drink this whole bottle.
Oh, we're gonna have it on.
At home, though, because you don't want to drink it here and drive. Safely.
Yeah. Safely at home.
Safely at home. But yes, it was good to see you, Carissa.
You too.
It was something to tell Steven. I said,
I will tell him.
Mr.
And
Steven.
we are just
I
so
keep
proud
calling
of
him
you.
Mr. Steven, like we, a huge age difference, but I'm just very proud of both of you. Thank you so much for having me here.
No,
and
we're
when
proud
I
of
was
you.
here, I was thinking like I gotta shoot some content here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that like right after this interview. I'm gonna drop this music video.
I'm a big fan of Chris Mitchell Jazz music,
come on,
okay?
come
And
on.
Chris Mitchell Jazz with Pur Noire wines,
Yeah.
that's a whole situation. So we're about to get into it, okay?
Good to see you, girl.
You too.